Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the video. I'm gonna talk about my early impressions of Street Fighter 5. I'm playing the PC build of the game, however, of course, much of this can easily be transferred over to my opinions of the PS4 version as well. So, how am I finding it? Well, I've been playing the game pretty much all afternoon, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So to give a bit of context, I'm certainly not the world's best Street Fighter player. I was playing a lot back in the Third Strike era and a lot of Alpha, but then since then my skills have gone to pot, and honestly, I just really got out of actually playing the game, and I was watching a lot of tournaments like EVO, for example, with SF4, but that was about it. However, SF5's come along, and for me, it's a really good way to jump back into the game. Now, I have heard a lot of people criticise the title for being overly simplified, and there's not enough depth and so on, but to be honest with you, I think that a lot of this is going to start coming out over the next couple of years, and hopefully, if that is the case, Capcom can make some adjustments, and obviously we're going to see those additional DLC characters start coming in over the next following months, which will definitely start to expand the roster. One of the complaints I do have about the game is I do feel that the roster is a little anemic. This is particularly true if you're used to playing even the Alpha series or Street Fighter 4 or any of the more modern Street Fighters. You'll definitely feel that the roster is a little smaller, a little slimmer than what you're probably used to. Now, I do want to get it right off the bat. The game looks absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. We're playing it, as I said, on the PC, and we're using one of our test rigs, which is using 8GB of RAM, an FX 8350, and a GTX 760 GPU. In other words, a fairly mid-range system. It's not, terrible or anything like that, but it's a fairly mid-range system. And for the most part, with everything at the highest settings, we're getting 60 FPS, no problem at all. And as I said, it looks absolutely gorgeous to boot. Now, moving away from the aesthetical side of things into the actual single player content, because I know some people do want a good substantial amount of single player gameplay, and unfortunately the title at the moment is just lacking that. You do get a very slim amount of single player options. You get a very basic story mode, which, to be honest with you, you're going to be able to complete with a certain character in about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. It's basically impossible to lose unless you're really a novice at the game. I mean, the CPU does not even attempt to block 90% of the time, so you can just do absolutely ridiculous stuff like jump in, constant fierce punches, and sure, you can straight away without any danger of being blocked 90% of the time. Unfortunately, this does come together with other complaints I have with lack of content. For example, the online mode at the moment is fairly linear, and indeed, the servers actually have some problems at the moment. A lot of folks, including myself, which is one of the reasons we're using such limited amounts of gameplay. True story, I was actually I was actually playing quite a bit earlier in the afternoon, and when I actually got a little better at the game and decided, okay, I'm going to start recording some matches, the servers fell over and have been very hit and miss, and sometimes I can get a game almost instantly, other times it can take 20-30 minutes, exiting the title, trying to log back into the servers, and it's a bit of a mess. That, combined with missing features, for example, expanded lobbies, are definitely going to disappoint folks who are hoping for a little bit more. With all of that said, and I do realise it may sound like I've got a bit of a downer on the game, that's not necessarily the case. For what I have been playing, I've really been enjoying it so far. I've been sticking mostly to Ryu, and I'm just trying to learn the basic mechanics of the game because I've been out of Street Fighter for so long, and I have to say that I find the game itself to be really enjoyable. Win or lose, I'm just enjoying the actual experiences of the fight at the moment, and discovering the various nuances of the characters. For example, how their V-trigger skills work, how best to punish them if they do a certain move, and basically how to not just get absolutely ravaged by, let's say, a Dowsin player who's keeping you out. You've got to obviously learn these little subtle nuances and how best to punish them and how best to trick your opponent. I feel that many of the issues with the game are definitely going to be resolved over time, over the next couple of weeks. Obviously the servers will become more stable, and then eventually Capcom will definitely patch the game and we will get more content, we'll get more characters, and that's certainly going to help the ecosystem of the title, but I do feel that some of the complaints are valid. Is it worthy of purchasing at the moment? Well, honestly, it's a bit of a tricky situation. Obviously, the thing with a fighting game is the longer you leave purchasing it, the further ahead other people get with the skill. But let's face it, if you leave it a couple of weeks, you're not going to be so far behind that it's impossible for you to catch up. Personally, I think that if you're a big Street Fighter fan, a day one purchase is fine and fair enough. Definitely, I would recommend it. However, if you're a fair weather fighter and you're not so much into Street Fighter anymore, maybe give it a couple of weeks and see how everything goes, and maybe see how the DLC characters come in and so on, and then make your decision. But at the moment, you can get pretty good deals on the title, and so it's a pretty cheap way into the entry, since obviously Capcom once again are giving away most of the content, at least most of the stuff they've announced so far, for free, with money you can simply earn in game. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. As I said, apologies for the fairly short amount of time and also for the limited amount of footage. I would have loved to add a lot more, but even right now my game is telling me that it is simply waiting for an opponent. So hopefully I can grab some more footage over the next couple of days. I'm going to maybe get some friends over and we're going to record as well, and maybe they're going to teach me some stuff, since they were in the beta and I didn't actually do that, hence why I'm sucking so bad. But still, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.